Hi and welcome back to the Teacher Educator Conference 2015 in Hyderabad, and I'm very pleased to be joined by Jamie Keddie. Jamie, welcome and thanks for taking time out to come and talk to us.
My pleasure, Paul.
Are you enjoying the conference so far?
Yeah, it's great. It's my first time in India.
Okay.
And it's quite special.
Yeah, it's very different, isn't it, from Europe. Okay, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your talk today. And in particular with video and using video. Obviously, you've been working with video for a number of years. How have things developed and evolved over that time for you?
Yeah, well, do you know that YouTube turned 10 years old on Valentine's Day 2 weeks ago? Did you know that?
No,
so
I
it's
didn't
a
know that.
very special day. And well, in the context of language teaching and teacher training, what I think is happening now is a shift from exploitation of video content that already exists online, whether you're talking about a short film, an advert, a user-generated video, whatever. You find a video and you make use of it in the classroom, but we're seeing a shift from video exploitation towards video creation. And of course we've always had the tools for this, but it's still not gone mainstream, and I think we're on the eve of all this video creation going mainstream, so it's an important to be aware for teachers and teacher educators as well, yes, teacher trainers.
Okay. And I mean, you're saying that we're seeing this shift from using video to actually creating video, and obviously now more and more teachers are starting to incorporate video recording and video recording devices into their teaching. Have you got any advice for those teachers and those who train them?
Yes, I mean there's well, for example, I was in a context recently where one teacher who said that in her world they didn't have access to materials, and in fact, you know, we're really talking, have I got it with me? We're really talking. When we think of video and video recording devices, whoops, that's a pen. I was wanted. You've seen pens, right?
I've seen pens.
You've seen one of these, right? We're talking about mobile phone technology. We're talking about video recording devices, everyday stuff. And with these, you can actually you can create your own materials very, very simply by pointing them at your colleagues. Chase your teacher friends in staff rooms, point your video cameras at them, ask them questions. For example, the same questions that you're going to put to your students. Obtain spoken texts, work with the spoken texts in the classroom. That's one of the things I would say. Also, I mean, the other big thing, even bigger than that, more important than that, of course, is video content created by language learners themselves. And I think the biggest, the most important advice I could give is get the technology into the hands of the learners, because I still see too much video content from the classroom featuring students in which the teacher's holding the video, and sometimes the students are sitting down, the teacher's standing up, and you've got this little scared, intimidated, like a rabbit staring up at the flashlights, you know. Get the technology in the hands of the learners, or make use of the technology which is already in their hands, get them to create the video at home in their own time. It's less stressful, they've got creative control, they can take as many takes as they like to come up with the goods. So that would be my advice there.
It's very empowering, I think, isn't it, when you know that idea of students being the sort of the content creators, and it sort of helps them to really sort of, I don't know, take the responsibility for their learning and direct their own kind of learning and be engaged in what's going on in the classroom and obviously with their learning as well. No, I mean, I think that's great advice, thank you. And in terms of trainers themselves, what advice would you give to teacher trainers to start using video in their context?
Well, I heard about a local program here in which a school had built up a bank of videos of teachers at work for teacher training purposes. And again, this is, I mean, video observation is nothing new. I don't know if do you remember the videos that when we did our teacher training, I think they were, I can't remember who they're produced by, but there was, we saw the same ones again and again. But again, it's a shift from exploitation of the material, the content which is given to us, onto being able to create our own. So if you're an institute a teacher training institute or a school and you're involved in teacher training, I think a bank of videos of your own teachers at work is so much more valuable. And I think possibly the value in this isn't just the personalisation that you know the teachers you're working with, but it's incredibly important not just to see a teacher at work, but to be able to have access to that teacher, because there's so much that goes on which is invisible. Teachers make choices, teachers make decisions, teachers have reasons for doing things which are maybe not visible in the video, and you actually have to be able to speak to the teacher in order to know why he or she did what he or she did. And so, as well as having the videos of the teachers doing what they do, I would also recommend a little video interview with the teacher, which is complimentary, in which they explain their rationale for certain things that they did. So that would be that there.
Great. Yeah. Brilliant. Jamie, thanks again for taking time out and coming and talk to us.
It's a great pleasure.
Okay, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Paul.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks.